Travis. I founded Trade the Trends Incorporated, and I want to tell you briefly what that's about, really, is I wanted to trade an old trend for a new trend. Growing up in Newport News, Virginia, everybody calls that what? Bad news, right? What we got pit bulls and everything else, right? But I wanted to do something different, right? Hustling, was in my blood, really. It's in the city to say that, but I just want to do something different. I didn't want to risk a jail cell to hustle. I'd rather risk a few dollars, rather than 2 years or a lifetime to get my money right. And then we're going to have a few people here on the line as well, and this is going to be interactive. So for those here, live, and those on the live stream as well, please, let us know if you have any questions. Put it in the chat. We're going to go into some deep stuff right now. And as I go, we're going to introduce, everyone as well. So, Mr. Hanna, if you want to really just jump online real quick, introduce yourself. He's going to be one of our guest speakers also, okay?
All right, what's up, everybody? Jason Hanna here. Don't know if
we can't hear Mr. Hanna. Mr. Jones can't hear Mr. Hanna.
I'm getting him, man. He got everything.
All right, what's up, fam? All right, Jason Hanna here. I'm the founders of the Wealth Investors Network, Freedom Project, 1,000 guys, collabo with Trade the Trends, iMarkets Live guys together. Everybody's going to achieve more. Excited with the information. We're going to jump right into it. We definitely, as is ours. So go ahead, Travis. You can take it back away.
All right. And Mr. Pinkston, I know you're on the line with us. Mr. Pinkston, I know you're on the line with us, moderating for us. I want you to also introduce yourself and tell us how you got started, with the Wealth Investors Network as well.
Yeah, Justin Pinkston here, guys, real quick. One of the co-founders of the Wealth Investors Network. We really just had a passion for seeing people win in today's losing economy. So I'll be brief. I've been in the financial services industry since 2003. Worked on the trading desk, on the bond market, licensed insurance agent, and investment advisor. So that's my calling, and just want to see everybody win in 2019. So turn it back over to you.
Thank you again, Mr. Pinkston, Mr. Hanna. I got to thank you both, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here, right? So that's also key, important as well. What's up, Dante? What up, Tay? Out there in the Chi-Town. My man Tay out there. Real shout out. But yeah, without you guys, I actually wouldn't be here, because you guys introduced me into the world of investing. It was something I was looking for. So let's get right into it, okay? So let's see, our mission here, what we want to do is it's simple, right? We want to enrich, empower, and educate, okay? That's as simple as we want to be, okay? That's exactly what we want to do. We want to enrich, empower, and educate. And as you guys can see, there is a bridge, right? There's a picture of a bridge. And the reason this symbolizes what we do, because all we're trying to do is bridge the gap for everyone that's on the line right now. We want to get you, from one side to the other, to the successful side of your financial future. And we just want to give you multiple ways of how you could do that. And these are proven strategies that we've been using for the last 2 years at this point. So we have 2 years of doing good, failing, doing good again, failing over and over again, so you guys won't make the same mistakes that we make, okay? And a few people here I want to tell you about, because we didn't learn this all ourselves, right? We had our own teachers and mentors, right? As you guys can see, the phenomenal Les Brown, right? Officially partnered with iMarkets Live, and Trade the Trends last year this time. And people say, why would they do that? Why would Grant Cardone, these $1 million entrepreneurs, get involved with this market? Because they understand the impact of multiplying money, guys. Millionaires and wealthy people, always want, of course, more money, right? And some people may know Miss Jewel Tankard. If you ever seen, I want to say, what was it? Love and Hip Hop. She's been featured on that show. Her and her husband has their own show, the Millionaires Club, and also Meeting the Tankards, right? Miss China Bethley and also Mr. David and Manitier. I got a question real quick to y'all and to people live here and also those on the live stream, which one of y'all would guess which one of these people are millionaires? Which one would you guess? All of them, right? Yeah, all of them, yo. All of them. Miss Jewel Tankard, China Bethley, income claim, they put in the work. They're doing $50,000 to $70,000 per month in income. Mr. David and Benitier, this gentleman makes $1 million every 45 days. That's crazy, right? Les Brown, Grant Cardone, to see them speak. This is phenomenal. And again, they're the people who actually we look up to and has been able to help us really learn and earn in this market, right? So I definitely want to be frank.
I want to say something with that real quick too. A lot of people don't understand how many millionaires there are in the world. There's actually tens of millionaires. In fact, I think last year the millionaire poll, I'll pick up on yours.
Go ahead.
The millionaire pool increased by almost 700,000 outside of their primary residence. So a lot of people think the whole millionaire deal is like for some elite class of people who just, got the lucky break, or they, they won a lottery type stuff. But ultimately, guys, what I want you to understand is that we're focused on financial freedom, which is the stepping stone to millionaire status. And so we're going to be talking about that, but you got to understand, like, there's actually over 1,000 billionaires in the world. Okay, over 1,000 billionaires in the world. And I think it's around 11 or 12 million millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not too far-fetched if you think about it. I mean, a lot of us consider ourselves hardworking. We consider ourselves sharp, intelligent. So there's a lot of millionaires that aren't that bright. So don't exclude yourself from that rank. So go ahead, Travis. I'm going to chime in on that.
Absolutely. And another question, like, do you feel you're at a crossroad in life and that you were meant for something more? This is, I want to take some time to really discuss that, especially for you gentlemen, right now. Like, think about where you are right now, where you want to be. Do you feel like you have more to offer the world? Definitely, right? Anything specific. If you didn't have to worry about money, right, and you could do anything in the world, what would that be? Travel. Right? See the world, right? Same for you? Yeah, travel and see the world. A lot of people, want to travel. For myself, I would do the same thing. But while traveling, I want to impact lives. I want to see people. I see so many videos in Africa or different countries or even in our own country and people in poverty. I'm just like, wow, I wish I had money where I could really assist them and help them because they're working. You have some lazy people who don't want to do anything. But then you have some people who've done everything right and life just turns on them, right? So I think that's key. You got to understand where you are now and really where you want to be. Mr. Hannah, you got anything to add?
Yeah, and, people travel now, but they stand at the Motel 6 and not the MGM, So being able to travel but enjoy yourself, I've been to Vegas about 3-4 times. And I know the first time I went, I stayed at the MGM Grand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I had it was a little business trip. So some of the things were paid for. But when I went on my own dime, I kicked it at the Hojo. I ain't gonna front on y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I had a little pocket change to do some of the events and walk around town, spend some money. But, if I had a preference, who you think I'd be, the MGM or the Hojo?
The MGM.
Right. So, being able to not just travel, but enjoy yourself in those events.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's key. Mr. Pinkston, you want to add anything?
I think you guys are hitting this point pretty clear. I would just say at some point, because the question was as far as like being at a crossroads in your life, everybody will hopefully need to get to that point. You get to that point where you feel like you're at a crossroads, then, it's two things that actually change a person. It's inspiration and desperation. Either you feel desperate enough to make a change or inspired enough that you will. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Gotcha. And I appreciate that. That's so important, man, to see exactly, where we are right now, where we want to be, things of that nature to get this ball rolling. So let me see. Let me get back to my share option here. Sorry, guys.
And while you're getting that squared away, Travis, I would just say, again, just on that, guys, a lot of times people, they don't change even when they know they're at a crossroads, because they don't the situation that they're in isn't painful enough. They find comfort in a discomfortable situation. So in 2019, guys, you want to make sure whatever your situation is, even if you're in a good situation. I heard one of the best quotes I heard is, a good life can stop you from having a great life, right? And so even if everything is good right now, it could always be great. It could always get to the next level. So, Mr. Jones, I'll turn it over to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So first, going into what I want to add, and Tay, Dame, I know you guys on the line. If y'all got anything to add, feel free. Of course, as I ask anyone here, feel free to stop, ask a question. I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so basically, I want to talk about what is our normal conditioning, right? We were told to do what? I'm pretty sure y'all were told these same things, right? Go to school, get good grades, graduate, go to college. What a scam. And I'm going to be frank with it, right? Because don't get me wrong, I'm a college graduate too. Virginia State University, HBCU made, but what they tell us to do is go into debt, get a job just to pay back that debt, right? Because even myself, with a bachelor's degree, I'm not even using it. I'm not even using that degree. And I know about 6 out of 10 of my fellow friends as well who graduated aren't using theirs either. Some of them working at 7-Eleven, some of them working in the shipyard in Newport News, and things like that where you don't need a degree to go, right? And the crazy part is you don't need a degree to own a business, but you need a degree to work for a business, right? That's crazy, right? Doesn't that sound backwards? Right? So because the school system, in my opinion, right, and I say do your own research, take advice, not orders, is that the school system was created only to create obedient workers, right? Hey, wake up, you eat breakfast at a certain time. You got to go to class at a certain time. You got to go to lunch at a certain time. You got to be obedient to your teachers, right? You can't, because if you question what they do, we get in trouble, right? Just because they tell us not to be creative, right? Not to think differently. We should listen to what you're telling me, even though some of it's not true, right? So I think that's key. And that's why I want to spend some time here on the cash flow quadrant. Who's seen this before? Y'all seen this before? All right, who else on the line has seen this before? Look like everybody's seen this, right? Or if not, we're going to briefly explain it to you, right? So you guys can see we all want to be on the right side of money, right? That's why everyone's online right now. They get on the right side of money, right? What we've been conditioned to do is work, right? We've been conditioned, as you guys can see, to be in this rat race, right? To have a job. Well, we only exchange time for money. So guess what? If you don't go to work, how much do you get paid? Nothing, right? You see what I'm saying? Right? So you don't have time to do anything. You don't have any leverage, right? We've been conditioned that this is the only way to make income. And guess what? We're okay with it. That's the scary part, right? A lot of us are okay with it. That's something that definitely needs to change and need to get more open-minded about the other ways of making money, right? So employee, you work hard, you don't have any time. And guess what? There's no security. A lot of people use that term. What is it? Job what? Security, right? Hey, government shut down. They getting paid? Whoa. How secure is that if you're working for the government and you're not even secure? You see what I'm saying? Right? Your job, if you die today, your job is going to have that opening by the end of the day, right? Somebody else is going to be applying for your position, right? So some people say at this point, hey, how about I be self-employed? Mr. Hannah, talk about the self-employed quadrant real quick.
Well, the biggest benefit of the self-employed quadrant is you set your schedule, right? And you actually set your income to the degree of what the clients are willing to pay. So, that's the biggest benefit. You kind of own your time a little bit more. You don't have to worry about somebody, saying, take your lunch break. Take your lunch break. I'm on mute here. And so, take your lunch break at a specific time or telling you when to clock in, when to go out. Let me probably lower the volume again. All right, cool. So, guys, you basically own a job because if you're not the one producing, you're not going to get paid. Think about that. You're trading time for dollars still. Where the people on the left side, they don't have that leverage because they can only earn active or linear income because they're trading time for dollars. Now, we helping people to transition. We're that bridge. We're going to help you transition from the left to the right side of the quadrant, because the right side quadrant, we like to call that the right side of money. And that's why the people on the left side, they're so exhausted, they're frustrated, they're tired, they're overworked, underpaid, they're not underappreciated. You know, and you find out at the end of the month that you ran out of money and you're still tired. And despite, you know, promotions on job, you know, I see people get excited over 25-cent raise, 50-cent raise. You know, they doing big things now. They go cop the new Jordans, upgrade the Toyota. But ultimately, you want to have leverage. That means not being the only person responsible for your time. And the only way to truly get to that point is to be on the right side of money, which is the right side of quadrant, which is being a business owner or an investor. Now, this is where you can earn passive and residual income. So this is really, I like to call the number one lifestyle in the world, is where you can have financial freedom because you're earning passive and residual income. Now, I will say this, most people fail in business and investing. Let's just put it out on the table. But you have to ask this question, why do they fail? Well, most of us come with lack of knowledge and some prerequisites, the fear of the unknown, fear of failure, all that tackles you. You got to be connected to the right people, to the right information, and basically follow a simple system. Guys, systems run the world. Think about it. That's why most people are employees. That's the way the system was set up. And I always said the system was created to benefit the people who created the system. And guess what? You're not the beneficiary. So what you got to do, you got to implement your own system. You got to connect to the right people. And I've always said, even on the business owner side, you know, it's a shot in the dark to be a Sam Walton in a sense, to start a business from scratch, or a Jeff Bezos and come to $1 billion status. But ultimately, guys, the only business really truly worth owning is the one that don't need you to run it. If you think about that, you can be a small shop, but if you can walk away and that joint's still generating income, you know, part of my friends, that joint, right? If it's still producing income on a monthly residual basis, like boom, you arrive, you're there. The only thing you have to do is branch out. You have to expand. You can go expand your current business, start a new one, or start to look at investments. And we're going to be focusing a little bit more on the investor side today. And one thing I want to say about investors, I had a conversation with several people recently, and the number one reason why they don't invest, what do you think that is? Fellas in the room, why wouldn't you? What's the number one reason why you haven't invested? The money to invest? I heard that. You don't want to lose the money you got, right? Most people don't invest because they don't want to lose the money that they got. And sometimes that's only a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand. And that's commendable. But ultimately, I think Robert Kiyosaki said he's never met a rich person who has not lost money investing. But he met plenty of broke people who haven't lost a dime in investing because guess what? They never invested. And so that's the name of the game. The name of the game is risk management. But we're going to touch on, too, the second reason why people don't invest. And my man here, he hit it on the nail. He said, man, the education, understanding it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People destroy from a lack of knowledge, and they destroy financially big time. And so I'm excited because we found a system that actually helps you with that educational element. And there's like 100 different stuff you can invest in. I mean, ultimately, everybody wants a high rate of return with the low amount of risk. That's the name of the game. Everybody wants that. You know, whether you got $100 to invest or you got $1 million to invest or $100 million. And so really to decrease that, to balance out the risk and the reward ratio, you have to educate yourself. You have to start to understand it. And we're going to be actually touching on a couple industries that we found to work for us. And so I would say that, you know, for us to teach that, I would say we qualify. We even found some systems that allow you to maximize your time and some services that basically assist you and help you with that. So, you know, I mean, I probably talked a little bit more than what you asked me to, but, you know, I just love the cash flow quadrant because this was the paradigm shift for me.
Right. Hey, Jason.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he touched on the cash flow quadrant. And for most people, that has been the paradigm shift. And that just means you're a completely different way of thinking, okay? And so that's why the cash flow quadrant is important because your mind is like a parachute.
Mine is like a parachute. It's only good if it's open. Until you understand the 4 ways to make money, you're gonna be closed-minded because all you know is I gotta bust my tail at this job so I can get a 50-cent raise and they can put my picture on the wall. You know what I'm saying? But you're still subject to mediocrity because your boss will never pay you enough to be his neighbor. I didn't mean to step on no toes, but go ahead.
And to continue, of course, like I said, get on the right side of money. As you guys can see here, as an employee and self-employed, that is 95% of the population, right? But the craziest thing about that 95% is that they only control 5% of the wealth, right? You know, why would 95% of all people only control 5% of the wealth? It's because they don't understand that right side of the quadrant, right? The business owners, the Facebooks, the Amazons, right? You know, they created the employees, right? Everybody's working for them now. I believe it was Zig Ziglar who said, I would rather have 1% of 100 men's effort rather than 100% of my own effort, right? And as this 5%, they own 95% of the wealth, right? So before we go into the next thing, investing, how do you normally invest, right? You know, question, you know, when you think investing, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Putting in money to go out or just, you know, I guess, yeah.
Putting in money to get a little bit more out. What about the markets? What markets do you know that you can invest in? Or what things can you invest in? 401k. What else? What y'all got? See somebody, JP, what else? What else can you invest in?
You can invest in a lot of things, but there's different types of investing. You got active investing and you got passive investing. So passive investing, of course, that 401k, where people just, not even really consciously investing. So, but you got real estate, you got, stock market, you got, of course, a lot of different investment tools.
Absolutely, absolutely. So basically, what we want to talk about is really education on investing in the markets available. Because myself, 3 years ago, my 401k, I didn't know what market I was invested in. I didn't know how much return I should get in a few years. It was a lot of things I didn't know, but I was putting $40 almost every paycheck into some machine to do something. But I didn't know what it was, right? And we use money every day, and we weren't taught really what to do with it, right? So we're going to talk about that skill set. So basically, what we've understood now is the foreign exchange market and the cryptocurrency market. Why did we choose this? It's the largest financial market in the world, if you didn't know, right? Because every day we use money somehow, some way, right? How many people got cash in their pockets right now? Everybody got cash? Right? Everybody got cards, right?
They went to digital.
So we already, kind of over to the digital currency era already, right? Already. Because, I know my grandparents, when I had the card, man, I need to touch my money. I don't know about y'all, they said I need to touch my money. So the foreign exchange market, or Forex for short, is the cash currency markets, right? Anybody ever been to Europe, right? London, right? But they have a currency called the euro, right? The Great Britain pound, the Japanese yen, the Canadian dollar. So basically, simplest put, what we do? We take our US dollar, exchange it to the euro. If you ever been to an airport, you saw currency exchange, right? I exchange it, and then the value or the fee to exchange it back goes up or down, right? So when that up, I exchange it back. Instead of them giving me my $5 back, they gave me $7.25, right? So basically what we've been able to do is learn how the markets, change, right? Because you got supply and what? Demand, right? And everything we do. So even going back to stock, what we have the ability to teach you is how to read charts, right? How to read supply and demand, support and resistance. So one chart, I'm going to show y'all here in a second, is going to look just like Apple. It's going to look just like Nike. Bitcoin looks just like an Apple chart, right? And cryptocurrency, the digital currency age. Mr. Pinkston, I know you're on the line real quick. Talk about the Bitcoin market a little bit, because you've really been successful in trading Bitcoin a lot more than the rest of us.
Yeah, absolutely. To be completely honest, just cryptocurrency in general, I've had some success with. But Bitcoin is is a thing of its own, to be quite frank. So, but the cryptocurrency market right now, guys, I was actually on a webinar last night. And the market, the overall market, if you guys have been paying attention to the market, it's at an influx so high right now. And when I mean the market, I'm talking about the traditional stock market. You know, so much fiat, okay, has been dumped into the financial market right now that we've been on the bull run since for the last 10 years, since 2008, okay? And so, but when you look at the cryptocurrency market right here, guys, this is CoinMarketCap, right? You want to familiarize yourself with CoinMarketCap.com because this actually has all the accredited cryptocurrencies in the world. So if you look at Bitcoin right here at the top, okay, number one, Bitcoin right now is valued at right at $3,600. Now this is one coin, right? And we don't have to go into the story of Bitcoin and how it actually came about, but understand right now that there are only really two industries or two respective industries where you really want to be putting your money right now, and cryptocurrency is one of them, right? You want to be taking your money out of cash, but first you have to have the cash, okay? So we're going to talk about how to get the cash, but you want to understand that cryptocurrency right now is getting the most profit, okay? There's no financial strategy, there's no financial tool right now that can give you more than multiple hundreds and thousands % return like the cryptocurrency market right now. So we've seen the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin in particular, go as high as the market cap of 100 billion, okay? 100 billion market capitalization. If you put that screen back up, Mr. Jones, you can see the market capitalization of Bitcoin right at, okay, I think okay. Well, if you familiarize yourself with CoinMarketCap,
63 billion.
How much?
63 billion.
63 billion, guys. That's huge, right? And it's going to go back up. But right now, cryptocurrency is on sale, so you want to be positioning yourself because that's what wealthy people do. When things happen and things go down, just like real estate, that's the time that you want to buy it. So, but you can, you can invest as how much or how less you want to get into that space. But it's a very it's a market that you want to educate yourself in, and that's the power of being connected to the Wealth Investors Network and Trade the Trends at Project 1000, guys, because we have that information for you.
Real quick, I'm just bringing it up right now. I'm not sure why.
I would say this too. While you bring that up,
Yeah, go ahead.
Is your mic unmuted?
No, I'm on.
Mic check. So last December, the cryptocurrency market went to $500 billion. That's when everybody was getting excited, trying to jump in and try to make some money. But yeah, it took a dive. And where it's set right now is just under 4,000. But honestly, about a year and a half ago, the value of Bitcoin was around 1,200. So if you think about that, yes, under 4,000, took a big nosedive. But a year and a half ago, it was like 1,200, 2,000. You know what I mean? So that's still twice as much as it was, you know what I'm saying, a year and a half ago. So it's not completely dead. It's just got devalued based on the trendsetters. What that means is somebody who got 100 million, they can throw it in it and get everybody hyped, and they throw money in it and they pull out. That's called the pump and dump, so to speak.
Okay, dope.
But ultimately, if you understand Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and what it's designed to actually do, like, it's extraordinary. And the reason why it's having a hard time now because the government don't know how they can stop it. The banks don't control it.
Mr. Hanna,
so right now it's struggling because it's trying to beat the powers that are. But they can't stop the internet. They trying to regulate the internet now. They ain't been able to do that for how long now? You know what I'm saying? If you think about the .com, you know what I'm saying, when AOL was dialing up and you had to take 5 minutes to load up one page and it said you got mail, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody could remember that, go back that far. But people was like, this thing ain't gonna work out. This is it's okay, But it was some visionary people that's like, you know what? This is gonna be the wave of the future. Everybody gonna be connected. We're gonna be moving information like in seconds, money in seconds. All that's going to transpire. And he has some people who's like, let me start buying up these websites. Let me start creating these markets online. Now they're all billionaires. Even with the app industry, you know, Snapchat, Instagram, billionaire companies, Airbnb, you know, Uber, billion-dollar companies. Because take foresight. The average person ain't gonna have that type of vision. That's why the average person ain't feeling Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? But the few people that do, it's already been the Winklevoss twins, billionaires from that, multiple millionaires produced. No, but learning how to trade, which we're gonna go back to, learning how to trade is gonna put you in a position to able to capitalize from the increase and the decrease of the value. Ultimately setting you in position for the rise of Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because not only are we going to teach you to trade, we're going to show you some investment strategies. Like the beauty about some things that I did, as you can see, Bitcoin is at 3,600. You know, I was actually able to invest when it was around 1,500, right? So right now my portfolio doubled, right? Some people saw it go up to 1920 and guess said what? I'm going to jump in now, right? No research, no analysis done. And what did they do? You know, unfortunately, they lost money because they don't understand supply, demand, support, and resistance, right, in certain zones. And that's really what we're going to talk more about, you know, now here in a second, that I'm going to bring this back up and go back into exactly what we were talking about with the foreign exchange market and the reason why. We want to talk, I want to educate you guys. Some of y'all took social studies, right? I know I did. I think I had, at the dream was Mr. Tyson or something back in the day. Inflation versus deflation. What do y'all know about inflation?
The cost of goods increased.
Cost of goods increased. What else do y'all know about inflation? What's up?
Not as strong.
Yeah, your money is not as strong anymore, right? You know, who had those stories where your parents said, man, I used to go to the store, get 2 bags of chips, a hot dog, and stand for a penny. I'd be like, a penny? Like, how, man? It's going to cost me $12 right now to just get the bag of chips, right? And the simplest form is because, I mean, they teach us briefly on inflation, but inflation is a tax. It's the government taxing you without knowing it, right? As you can see, in 1930, you can, for $20, you can actually get a cart full of groceries, right? $20 now, I can get toilet tissue, some soap, and that's probably about it, but that's because the dollar used to be backed by something. It used to be backed by gold, right? Where there was a gold standard. So each dollar represented a percentage of gold. Whereas, of course, it couldn't be duplicated or manipulated because I can't create more dollars if I don't have enough gold. So then, as you can see, 1960, it decreased. In 1970, President Nixon abolished the gold standard because they wanted what I like to say, quote unquote, a more flexible currency, which meaning now the Federal Reserve can make money out of nothing, right? Out of nothing, right? They go and borrow. That's why our government is $26 trillion in debt, right? How could we be in debt, right? But deflation is, like I said, when we looked at cryptocurrency, right? As you can see at that point, you know, at one point, 1 Bitcoin used to be the cost of a pizza, right? $10. Then it was the possible cost of a Microsoft computer. You know, in 2017, it got to 20 grand. That's, some people can buy a car with 20 grand, right? And even now that it has, you know, retraced or corrected itself, guess what? Hey, in the year 2020, the expectation that is going to actually outdo its last highest high. And we're going to talk about that, right? And we really want to talk about taking control of your financial future, right? Like we said, if you let the government and if you let your job, your 401k be the only investment you have, guess what you're going to get in return? Not much, right? Right. You're not going to get much because their focus is to make them money, not to make you money, right? And that's why you want to get in control and learn a skill with the live trainings and educational classes that we have and that we have weekly as well.
Hey,
so real quick, Jason, I know you know the ins and outs. Like I said, Jason and Mr. Hanna, Mr. Pinkston introduced this to me, and the reason why I got successful at it. So I'm going to let Mr. Hanna talk in depth about the training, the academies, and all the features we have to help you do this.
Absolutely. And Mr. Jones, Jason, can you hear me?
Partnerships we have is with a company called iMarkets Live. Check this out. This company, just 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, they've had 1,000 students enrolled. And they was only a 3-year-old company.
Now, if you started a company in 3 years, you had 1,000 clients. Wouldn't you say you're doing something right? So fast forward to now, we've reached over 100,000 people that we've been able to help with our services worldwide, 120 countries. And so that needs us to say that we have results. We have something that's actually helping people. And so the programs are so diverse and very intricate, but they're also simple to use. We actually have video training on how to use each service. And so it's phenomenal. Now you got literally no excuses learning how to invest. Whereas, before you were subject to just Googling and YouTube and everything and trying to figure it out, put it together, trying to figure out who you're going to trust, if that makes sense. And so, we have multiple softwares and services to give you the leading edge. I mean, I'm going to just touch on two real quick. The IML Academy, guys. When you think about an academy, you think about school, right? How much does school cost now if you went to college university? 20K, right? A semester, a year, or a lifetime? Which one is it? Semester. $20,000 a semester. And to get a degree, how long that typically takes? About 4 to 8 years, depending on if you're a super senior. If you're going to, if you retrace for a year or two, right? And so the point I'm trying to make is this is a first-class Forex cryptocurrency market analysis education. Right? No student loans, you know what I'm saying? Learn and earn at the same time. Video training, which means you go at your own pace, you watch it over and over again until you get it. When you're in college and the guy from Europe or Africa hitting you hard with that dialect, right? And you didn't understand what he said because he's just strong with it. You can't be like, can you say that again? You say that again, I'm not understanding. I mean, especially if you're in a lecture hall and about 100 people there trying to get out the room, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna say nothing. You're not. But with the academy, you're gonna hit play twice, 3 times, you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? You get off of work, you can play it. When you out, some of you got that liberty. And so I just want to bring home to the point that this is literally your exit strategy to get from the left to the right side.
That bridge.
And then the second service, as you can see, we got over 9 on the board, and we actually got some sub services. But the second one I want to hit on is the harmonic scanner, guys. Actually, I'm going to throw in the analyzer because the harmonic scanner and the analyzer are 2 proprietary state-of-the-art softwares that literally do most of the work for you. Now, what does that mean? Well, what if you had a gym subscription, right? And you sign up for Gold's Gym and somebody else in there lifting all the weights and running around, but you get the muscle. How great would that be, right? So the harmonic scanner literally scans the charts for you and it finds the trades for you. Like it literally tell you, buy this one at this price and get out of it at this price. Now, that's crazy. Now, we will say this, that the scanner has been known to be over 70% positive trade probability. But with the skill set you learn, the strategies we help you with, we increase that to 80 and 90%. We got a couple people that say they don't lose. Now think about that. If you can invest and don't lose, right? You know what I'm saying? How great would that be? But what we want to do as a legal disclaimer, results may not be typical. Past performance don't indicate future performance. But I said the analyzer because it's literally 4-in-1. It scans the stock market, it scans the Forex market, it scans the cryptocurrency market, even scans the metal and the indice market. You may not know what that is. Let's just say it still does its job. And reason why this is so phenomenal because we've had a former executive in charge of a bank merger go to one of our conventions. And in that merger, he was responsible for teaching the traders how to use this software and make their company millions and millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Okay, he actually approached our creator of the software and asked him. He said, "Look, your software looks like the one I was teaching the people." He was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah. So, which one's better?" That's what he said. He said, "Man, yours is easier to use." He said, "Well, if you don't mind me asking, how much was that contract for that bank and that trader to have access to this software and your education and strategy, how much was that contract? He said $500 million. $500 million. You literally get access to that same tool. Now, what you do with it is up to you. I mean, if you had a Lamborghini sitting outside with no keys and no gas, you know what I'm saying? You just take pictures on Instagram with it, right? But what you do with that Lambo, when you put some gas and some keys in it, you know what I'm saying? You can make some things happen. Absolutely. So I just want to touch on a couple of those things. Right
and
there.
real quick, I want to transition back real quick to Mr. Pinkston. Like I said, again, before, you guys introduced this to me, and I know I ran with it. But Pinkston, chime in real quick and tell us your thoughts and, you know, some things that you've been able to do over the last few years.
Okay. Well, real quick, not to take too much of the time here on these products, but you know, the services, you know, the services work, but you just have to work them. You know, one of the things I would say about the tools are that you want to make sure, you know, because, you know, in our experience with utilizing these services, you want to make sure you're positioning yourself around the right people, because if you're the only person that's talking about investing or about you know, increasing your account by percentages and things like that, you know, then it's going to be you're going to feel like you're alone on an island in a sense. You know what I mean? I remember.
Uh-oh, look like we lost you, Chairman. So what I'm going to do is, you know what I'm saying, we time constraints, so I want to make sure we can move on. Hopefully he can get that back started. But what we want to talk about is really how we do this, because as you guys can see, your tablet, your cell phones, Android or iOS, you know, so, hey, if you got a chance right now, I say go to your Apple store right now, because we're going to show y'all before we leave how to actually enter and exit trades. Y'all already got them? Oh, y'all fancy, man. Y'all ain't playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? But download this app. It's called MetaTrader 4, and it's free, of course. And set up a demo account, or we like to say, you know, play with money in a live market, you know, before you enter the market, right? Practice makes perfect, right? You know, so you always want to continue to practice. So that's going to be so Pinkston, you back?
Yeah, back here. Not sure what happened, man.
Hey,
but I was just going to say, I was just going to say real quick, you know, we've all been in conversations where we meet a lot of people that, you know, that can give the expert advice on, you know, which team is going to go to the playoff or which team is going to do the best in which series. But, you know, how about being right about, you know, what's happening in the market? You know, how much the percent your account is going to grow, or, you know, being able to give your family expert advice on, you know, growing their money, the stuff that really counts. So I'm just saying that to say that you got to change your conversations and change your sometimes you got to change the people that you hang out with, you know, depending on your goal. Now, if your goal is just to you know, work a job, and there's nothing wrong with having a job, but if your goal is just to, you know, solely depend on the income from your job, then you'll slowly you know, be comfortable with those relationships that you have with those individuals who just work a job. But to level up in terms of profits and to do things differently, you're going to have to get around people who think differently and have different goals, like people who have investment accounts, who do active investing, if that makes sense. And so I'm just saying that to say, you know, these tools do work, but guess what? If you're not the right person, then you can get involved with the tools and they won't do anything for you. That makes sense?
That makes a whole lot of sense. And the reason why I went back to this slide, because, you know, before things can change for you, first you must change, right? You can't do the same things in 2018 and 2019 and expect different results, because that's the definition of what, guys? Insanity, right? You know, so when they say who got the best album of the year, guess what? I don't know, right? I don't know, because I listen to these people on YouTube when I'm in the car. Les Brown, you know, Grant Cardone's, you know, the Jewel Tankers, the China Bethleys, the David and Benitez. Why? Again, because I say these people make $1 million every 45 days, right? I've never seen $1 million. So I'm going to listen to people who are doing the things that I want to do, or I'm going to surround myself around the people that are looking to go the places that I want to go, right? I suggest this to everybody in the room and on the live right now. Tell some of your friends and your family, hey, I'm looking to invest and trade. Hear what they say, right? Then decide if you want to continue to have them in your life or not, right? Because there are some people who I'm going to explain to you right now. Say, hey, man, when you come back to the city, let's hang out, let's chill, let's play 2K. You know what I said? I don't want to play 2K with you, right? I don't want to hang out and drink with you. I got my own stuff at the crib, right? I'm trying to build, right? So when people say, hey, I just want to hang out, and people tell me, hey, bro, I don't want to build. I'm like, you don't want to get better? Like, it's really people out there who don't want to do anything better than what they're doing.
And a lot of times you got to cut those conversations and relationships short. There's something that's called a season of separation.
SOS.
And a season of separation, I had a picture with David Emenitier. That's one of our sponsors, our mentors and whatnot. He literally didn't listen to his mom or his dad. Now check this out. His mom taught school. His dad was a pastor and taught tennis. You know, solid people. And his dad told him, you need to get a job, you know, and support yourself because you're getting older. The mom said, you know, you go to school, you get grades, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, he didn't listen to his dad or his mom. And he actually went to school and ended up having a child, right? His mom was like, look, don't do no fraternities, focus on school. You know, you got a baby. He pledged, you know what I'm saying? He just did what he wanted to do. And we all have our own route to take and our own journey. But ultimately, what I want you to understand is people tell you to do stuff with their best intent, right? With their best intent for you. But ultimately, until you connect to the people to where you want to be, you're not going to be in a position to get to where you want to go. That makes sense.
Man, that makes sense.
So make a long story short, you know, David Emenitier, he found his niche. He found entrepreneurship and investing. And like he said, he making, you know, 6 figures a week, you know, easily. So I just want to allude to that too with relationships are concerned.
I got you. And one thing about us, we could talk about, you know, mindset, mind shift all day, us three anyway, because this is just what our conversations are about, right? You know, it's fluent, right? We get excited, as you can see, and we can also get long-winded as well because we're so passionate about seeing other people grow outside. And why I named, again, my company, like I said, Trade the Trends. I want to trade in the old trend for a new trend, right? Instead of buying Jordans, hey, buy stock. Instead of buying Jordans, I buy some Nike, right? Take 200, buy a share of Nike, right? Doing things different. And what I did want to show is a few results because, of course, for us to be talking to you about it, we got to have some results, right? You know, so I'm going to show you just kind of what we've done from December 21st until now, right? The first one, this is just me. I think I traded maybe an hour, $100 account. I put London right there because it's called the London session, right? The London banks open their time, 8 a.m., 3 a.m. our time. A lot of people say 3 a.m., yes, but that's when the money moves, so I go get it. So as you can see, this was a $100 account, guys, right? And with 1, 2, 3, 4 trades, I've only risked, how much is that? $1.20 risk. I made $11.38 in less than 30 minutes, right? And from my phone, I'm at home. I still got, you know, NFL Network on. So I love NFL. That's all I watch. The 644, this was a guy who just got started. He only started with actually a $10 account. I don't advise, you know, doing anything less really than 100. I tell people $500 is really where you want to start, to be honest, right? You know, but a $10 account, his first 2 trades, now he's at $16.44. Another account where we're risking $2, $4, $5, $6.90, $7 risk, now $20, right? You know, and the market is going to give you different things, different days, right? Here's the trading for the 8th, $38 account trading a euro, right? Here's the 10th, $22, right? Here's the, what's that right there? Here's the 10th again, another $28 account. And these accounts come from either myself, Jason, or, you know, Mr. Pinkston here, right? Because we're the 3 who have been consistent and focused, right? And as you can see here, we have some better days, $31 a day, $217 day, right? It's crazy. People say in the $97 day, and Jace and Justin, this $97 day was your day right here, right? So come off mute real quick and just tell us about how your trading day usually goes, normal morning.
So my trading day, usually I'm up at around 3 o'clock in the morning anyway because I'm working. And so I get into the market, around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Now again,
right now, but I'm cool.
Okay.
I'm just tired, man.
Yeah,
I was off today, and I got there. I had to come back up this day.
Let's mute. Let's see if we can mute that person out here. Cool. All right. So yeah, I'm usually up around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning just because I work overnight. And so with this particular day, I've been working with just really 1 or 2 pairs, GCAD and GN. Okay, these 2 pairs here. And so, I don't stay in the market too long. When I do the and I don't really do a market analysis. I just see where the market is going. And
hey, Mr. Pinkston, not to cut you off, but what does GCAD and GN stand for?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So if you look at these 2, this pair right here, we're looking at 97.09 in profit. If you look at the very top, it says GBP NZD. So when you're looking at this is a currency pair. This is the Great British Pound versus the New Zealand dollar. So we always say the first letter in each pair. So that's GN. And then if you go down to GBP CAD, that's the Great British Pound versus the Canadian dollar, right? Now, this is what I'm talking about, guys. See, just because, 2 years ago, I didn't know this information, right? I didn't know anything about this, right? Prior to that. And so when you want to become wealthy, you learn the language of the wealthy. If you want to become an investor, you got to learn the language of investors. And so, I wanted to change my conversation. Why I wanted to start making daily profits, right? So even when, Travis is talking about, $31 a day, $217 a day, what if it was just $20 a day? Well, if you multiply that by 20 days in a month, and you multiply that by 12 months out the year, that's close to $5,000. How many people can say they saved $5,000 last year? Not many people, right? And so when we're talking about $97 a day, guys, it took me a year to be able to build the skill set where I can now comfortably do anywhere from $50 to $100 a day, just like that, right? Because it was a skill set I learned and developed, right? So not to be too long-winded, but that's typically how my trading day flows. I get in and out of the market relatively quick because it doesn't take all day to do it.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And then this day right here, the $217 day. This was one of my good friends. Of course, he had a little bit more money starting off than everyone has. Right. It's all about your initial investment. So with the $5,000 account, right, of course, he can risk $10 per trade rather than I started off, I risked 10 cents per trade, right? 20 cents per trade. He's risking $10 per trade. But you guys can see at the leverage, he was able to do 217 in a day. And you're gonna see the changes. And as you can see, you see some red in there, right? You see some losses, there. You're gonna see we're gonna take some losses, right? It's gonna happen, right? Because of course, unfortunately, we can't guarantee what the market is gonna give us. The market may only give you $6 one day. Next day, it may give you $1,000. Next day may not give you anything. You might lose $4, but it's about proper risk management. And why we say you only should risk 1 to 3% of your account. If you start with $100, each trade, you should only risk $1 to $3 per trade, right? Because if a trade wins, hey, you make $10. A trade loses, you lose $3, right? So guess what? You win one, you lose one, you're still in the positive $7, right? And that's, again, the reason, with the trendsetters, I like to call us, we teach you risk management, right? Proper risk management, the history of Forex, the history of crypto, who's involved in this market. And I want to briefly talk about who's already participating in this Forex market. Who knows who's already in this market? Y'all know? Who like some big companies that trade in this market? Y'all know of any? Anybody got a bank account?
Mm-hmm.
They already flipping your money, right? This is what the banks do, basically, and this is how they're able to offer you this 0.01% per year, is because they're doing two things with your money. They're loaning it out to other people and gaining interest, and they also they have actually a service desk, and Mr. Pinkston can talk more about that because he worked at Wachovia Securities about, individuals who made money doing this. Hey, Mr. Pinkston, jump back on real quick and tell us briefly what you saw being on the security desk and, of course, pushed you back into trading real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, straight out of high school, like I said, I worked in the financial sector. I was on the trading desk on the bond market for Wachovia Securities. And prior to that, of course, just growing up in the inner city, where I was not really exposed to that at all. It was different for me because nobody in there looked like me. I'm walking into just what looks like the New York Stock Exchange, TVs everywhere. That was the first time I seen double, triple monitors on one desk. And people were actually, these people were multiplying money every single day. And I said, you know what? I had an experience where, my role was just to input the trades. I was a data entry or operations specialist, right? And so I inputted a trade one day, my normal course of activity. And, long story short, I entered the trade wrong. The trader came over to me and, told me I needed to correct it because something was wrong with it. And what happened was, I left a zero off of the commission that this particular client earned on this one trade. And, it was $100,000. And at that moment, guys, I was like, man, somebody just earned $100,000 off of one trade. I said, that's some information I need to know. And I told myself I made the resolve that day. This was way before me learning how to trade anything. I made a resolve that I was going to learn how to trade. And from that point on, of course, 5-6 years later, here comes this opportunity to learn how to trade. So it's definitely information out there, guys, but you got to first make a decision, right? You have to either be inspired or desperate enough to make a decision that you're going to learn this information and to better yourself.
Oh, no, it's funny you said that because you said inspired or desperate. And like I said, we've been doing this, a lot of people has reached out to us, but I know, unfortunately, one of my friends ended up losing his job, right? And I guess a desperate situation came to me and said, hey, man, I don't have anything else. Can you show me something? And going back to, that first account, this was him, right? His first day profiting $7 on a $100 account. If you got $100 in your bank in 30 days, how much is it?
$100 all day.
If you got $100 in your bank account right now in 30 days, how much is the bank?
$95.
What account?
Right. So he came to us in that sense. But basically the craziest part, and I have this up here about who run the world, and it's funny because actually 80% of successful traders are women. Guys, unfortunately, guys like us, we ain't really trying to make do. And the reason why I say that, and we talk about quality people, your belief system, because in order to do this thing, you have to go outside of your traditional conditioning, right? Like you said, we've been conditioned to, go to school, good grades, get a job, get into debt, get a job to pay the debt off, right? You see what I'm saying? But now, because people are going to tell you, man, oh, you going to a seminar? You going to a workshop? Those people who give me that type of feedback, I tell them, yo, I love you, dog, but I can't bang with you no more, right? Because if I do come to the city, they say, let's go grab a drink. I said, well, I'm talking with somebody about business. When you going to be free? By the time I'm free, I'm going back home, right? Leisure time. But women who win worldwide, as I showed you guys before, we got ladies from Love and Hip Hop. I don't know which one, Atlanta, whatever that is, that's in the game, the Les Browns, people that we look up to that's already doing this thing. And it's so important. But real quick, I want to give y'all some insight on something else, right? Starting off. So my question to you, I got two questions. Would you pay $6.60 per day to actually make $20 to $35 per day? Would that make sense? Right. My next question, would you pay a robot $6.60 a day to make you $20 and $35 per day? So basically what we also have, with our network, which a lot of people don't, is that guess what? We have a software that actually can do all the trading for you.
I want to say something too, because the same technology that's taking away jobs has the potential to produce income for you. Think about that. I went into McDonald's and they got the little big screen TV now where you can order the food. They don't even need the high school students for $7 an hour no more.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? And the change, they got it now, the change pop out for you. You know what I'm saying? So now they can run their ship more systematically, right? And make more money.
Right.
Because of technology. So why not have technology working for you? You know what I'm saying? And one last thing, our parents, our grandparents were conditioned by the industry age, which was to get a job so you can be a high-ranking position in a factory. At that time, money, one income could take care of a whole household.
Right.
So now we done moved through that age. We're in the information technology age, but a lot of tradition is still stuck in the industry age. That's why things are still the way they are. So you gotta take advantage of the industry and the age you're in.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mr. Jones, can I say something real quick just to chime in on that as well?
Absolutely. Go ahead. Absolutely.
Yes. So that's so important, guys, because a lot of times the way we're conditioned, we're trained to take experience, or we're trained to take words of credibility from people that we respect, right? That's what controls our belief system. So, if you look at industries over time, industries always change, economies always change, right? And so you got to make sure that you're getting the right information. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, these two gentlemen, everybody knows who Warren Buffett is, but Charlie Munger is his partner who's been there from the beginning. They read more than, 4 to 5 books every single day. Look it up, right? And the reason they do that is because they know industries always change. So for them to be able to make money, make billions and billions of dollars, regardless of what the economy is doing, they got to be ahead of the curve. They got to be ahead of the information. Right. And so likewise for you, because we all run a business. If you run a household, if you have kids, right, if you're responsible for somebody other than yourself, right, you own the business. And even if you're responsible for you own You Incorporated. Right. And so you got to make sure that you're getting the right intel, which is the right information every single season when the economy shifts, so that you're not at a standstill and your income is a result of that. Right. And so, there's information out here that we're telling you guys, you're not going to get this information in other circles. Your normal circle. Think about this, right? You're here right now on a Saturday, talking about increasing your income, right? What are all the other conversations about right now, right? Outside of this, it's about, whoever's getting ready to play the game tomorrow, right? Whatever's on TV today. Okay. So I'm just saying that, guys, because you own You Incorporated. So you got to make sure you're getting the right intel that can propel your income further.
Absolutely. Right. And a question, right? Alexander Hamilton, what bill is he on?
$10 bill.
He on a $10 bill. And we know Ben Franklin on that good 100, right? So we got this. So what we've created, because technology is ever changing, right? Anybody remember the first computer, what it looked like? It probably was about as big as this room. Right. And now we have them on our phones. So technology is changing, and technology now has helped us make money. This is something we've tested, for the last 90 days, proven. And of course, we have networks. So as you guys can see, different results or different outcomes basically for different, incomes. Right. What I do know is here, Hamilton, which is one of our software, usually the deposit we recommend is $300. Right. And basically a $300 deposit, right, of your bank account, basically your projections is to projectly make $250 to $600 monthly without you having to do anything. Let the software do it. And of course, what we do, of course, for our team is we make sure we manage it and look over it also for you. You have access to your own money. I want to make that clear. We don't take your money or trade it. You take your money and trade it. We just teach you where to put it, how to, enter, how to exit, how to withdraw, how to deposit, right? If you want to withdraw it, by all means, withdraw your money, of course, which I suggest doing every 90 days, usually, right? For example, you make $250 in 3 months, right? At this point, now I got $750, or now what's that, $1,050 I might take $200 out and let the rest ride, right? That's what we do suggest. But of course, with wealth building, we have wealth compounding, which I'm going to show more about in a second. But as you can see, past results don't guarantee future results. Of course, legally we can't. But, you know, when we talk about guarantees, some people ask for, hey, can you guarantee me this? Right? I can only guarantee you as much as the gym can guarantee you, you're going to lose weight, as much as the school going to guarantee you're going to get a job. Right? But what I can guarantee you is that you're going to get the top-notch education in Forex, crypto, as well as the top software that can actually put this on autopilot for you as well. Segue.
Yeah, real quick, because Warren Buffett was asked a question. You know, if you don't know who Warren Buffett is, then sorry. But he was asked a question, you know, what should I invest in? And he said, well, the number one investment is in yourself. Think about that. That's something nobody could take away. You know, that's you developing that skill set. That's you learning something and putting yourself in that position. But I said that to say this, you know, what we do and what we encourage people to do is when that cash flow from Hamilton Benjamin kick in, we put it back into the services of educating ourselves how to trade ourselves. That makes sense? Because now it's almost like free education. It's like getting a scholarship. You know what I'm saying? And that you literally pay once, and that money is perpetual. So, you know, we take that money, we fund our education, we increase our knowledge, and we use that to increase our capital for reinvesting. It's really, really important to understand that. That's one of the things we help people understand and manage. You know, we have systems to really put that together.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's important that we have this group. You guys know if you I don't know if you follow him or follow me on Facebook or anything else, so you guys can see the consistency. You know, because one thing we know is that, you know, in order to, you know, get somewhere, you got to be consistent and disciplined. Because as Denzel said, those two things equal success, right?
Hey, Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir, Mr. Pinkston.
Yeah, real quick with that, because on the topic of discipline and consistency, you know, one of the things I would say real quick, guys, is you got to make sure also that that even when it comes to money, right, your mindset is different. Everybody want to make money or get rich, right? But nobody want to get rich slow, right? Wealthy people, I'm talking about the ultra super rich. They're okay with getting rich slow. Why? Because they're still getting rich. Okay, and so it's all about the discipline and consistency. So if you're talking about somebody that's, you know, that's a piece of system or software that's going to make you, you know, anywhere from $20 to $35 a day, and it's going to do that day in and day out, right? And then you actually have the ability to take a portion of that, put it into another account, and compound it. You know, the ninth wonder of the world, right? I believe Albert Einstein said that, you know, the ninth wonder of the world is compound interest, right? And so compound, this is actually, you know, what Jason alluded to at the beginning of the call as far as 11 million millionaires in the world. It's about doing things a certain way. So you can't, like I'm saying all of this, say, you know, when the income starts coming in, it's not about what I can do, you know, what I can buy. It's about really compounding it so that you can make dramatic changes, okay? So that you can make, you know, start creating wealth, right? So I just wanted to put that out there. You know, it's okay to get rich slow. And by slow, I'm not talking about slow. We're talking about, you know, years, okay?
Gotcha. And like I said, two quotes I like to live by. Slow money is better than no money, right? And oatmeal is better than no meal, right? You know, and because when I started off, my goal was to just make $6.60 a day. Why? Because I wanted to break even, right? My whole goal was break even, right? You see what I'm saying? Because if I can learn a skill set and break even, guess what? I'm doing something right, right? I'm doing something awesome. So we're going to get into it. Basically, you got to take the first step in changing the course of your life, right? And basically, yes, $6.60 per day, what does that equal? About $200 a month, right? But it's $200 a month worth getting profit of $250 to $600 a month, right? Would you give somebody $200 if I can bring you $600 at the end of the month? I would. Would y'all, you know what I'm saying? I would, right? And we have two different things that can do it for you, but also because we don't advertise on the big screen, right? You're not going to see this on a billboard anywhere, right? So our advertisement budget, basically, we're going to do what Amazon does, right? We're going to allow you to refer people just like Amazon, right? So basically, and basically, we're going to let you get a scholarship by doing that. This needs to be up there. So it's a 3 and free program, right? So I wish I had some people to say, hey, if you come to Virginia State, you know, my scholarship, I'm going to get a scholarship, right? I wish that happened. But what we can do is if you know other people say, hey, you know, I want to learn the skill set too. I want to have my money on autopilot, right? You help them make money. Guess what? We're going to pay you for helping other people.
Let me plug into that too, because if you think about it, guys, the natural human nature is to share positive experiences, right? Social media made it popular and acceptable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you get a new job or you find a good deal or get married,
Black
Panther movie come out, new restaurant popping, you know what I'm saying? The game is hype. Everybody's sharing on social media. We do that. That's what we do. This is the society. And so again, like as a couple of guys alluded to, you know what I'm saying? If somebody found a way to produce $200 extra a month, would you want them to tell you about it? I mean, like a close friend. He's supposed to be your boy, right? And he's making an extra $250 to $600 a month. Wouldn't you want him to tell you about it, right? And see, a lot of times we get in this mindset like, man, I ain't trying to, you know, put people on this stuff that's helping me out because I'm not too sure about it. But you know what I'm saying? At the same time, when you send somebody to a restaurant, you ain't sure that they ain't gonna get food poisoning. They might not enjoy it. They ain't gonna order the same. They're not gonna have the exact same experiences. A lot of times we bite our tongue because we had a different mindset where it comes to that. But we do it naturally. We just don't get paid for it. And like he said, what your school was like, look, I know you a student here, welcome to Virginia State University, but if you and your homeboy and your cousin decide to come too, you get a full ride. Who ain't gonna be all over that? You know what I'm saying? Who ain't gonna be all over that? And so it's really about getting plugged into a system who's willing to compensate you, who's willing to reward you for helping them. Now, I can't tell you how many people I help get jobs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some of them try to give you this kickback. Well, if they stay employed for 6 months, we give you $50 or something like that. But ultimately, you know, people not used to getting compensated, so they think it's strange. They think something's wrong with that.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about Facebook right now, right? So Facebook, basically, Amazon, right? Like we do it, or apartments, right? We refer people to this apartment complex because they're gonna give us a free month rent, right? This is really the nature of wealth investors, right? This is what they do. And what I like about it, I'm gonna segue to it is, you know, the opposers, as I like to call it. But yeah, so if, you know, once you start making $250, $600 a week, how many people would you tell at that point? Would you tell anybody or keep it to yourself?
5,000 Facebook friends. Who would you tell?
Nah, probably not your friends. You probably gonna tell, hey, mom, boom, tell my brother, my cousin, my family. You're gonna tell your family first, right? And I think that's key. And what we should do is because now, guess what? Now, if I'm making 600 and my lady's making 600, guess what?
12.
My fiance is making 600. That's $1,200 that we're bringing back into our household, right? Our mortgages pay every month from my phone, right? You know, and basically this is my goal. And I have 3 kids at this point, you know. So, you know, I was able to make, I did probably about $7,000, right? My first year in trading, right? Positive outcome. And I was able to put $2,500 down on my new truck, right? That was phenomenal, right? You see what I'm saying? And still save some others, get diapers, man. I got so many diapers in the garage. I'm probably going to be good for 6 months, right? I got my bills paid up all the way till March. I don't have to pay another bill till March, guys, you know, based on just utilizing this.
Well, I will say this too, because let's say if you had a business idea, right? Would you go to your cousin or a current business owner about the idea? You'd probably take the business owner idea. Even though you and your cousin, y'all tight, y'all fam, y'all grew up together. So would you take financial advice from a broke relative or someone who got money? A lot of times we share things with people and they advise us. Does that make sense? And we yield to that advice because we know them, we trust them, they got your best intentions in mind.
But we take advice. If you ain't willing to trade places with that person, I caution you on taking that advice. And I just want to say that because a lot of times, if you kind of get the picture and the scope of what this is and how it relates to things that you're used to seeing, we've shared things with people and they advise us not to do it. If you think about that, but are you willing to trade bank accounts with that person? Right? Are you willing to live in their house and stay in, and drive their car? But yeah, I get it. There's so much out here. You got to be careful. You got to be leery. But just the leery part is who you taking advice from. I just wanted to say that because that's been many people's downfalls. I mean, even Starbucks, $1 billion company, his mama told him that coffee shop idea won't work. He went to England. He saw, all right, y'all create a coffee shop with a social environment. He tried to bring the United States, and mom was like, don't do it. You wasting your time and your money. $1 billion company. Right. Jeff Bezos, his mama told him not to do it. Why would people want to read books online? Mama's called Amazon. You get books online. It's the way of the future. I don't know about that. $100 billion net worth now. I'm sure he bought his mom something nice. Thank you for loving me.
You got something, Pinkston?
Yeah, I was just going to say real quick, man. You know, it's so important that you do make sure you're understanding the advice or where to get advice from, right? Again, just because, you know, people that we love and trust, you know, that's who they are. But, you know, people can be sincere. But I had a mentor that told me, man, you know, some people can be sincerely wrong, you know. So you can be sincere but still be sincerely wrong at the same time. So, you know, what I will say is this, you know, when I was approached with Forex and the ability to learn the skill, I didn't have to check to see if I needed to learn this skill or if it was a good idea for me to learn how to increase my income. I didn't have to check with anybody. I already knew for me it was a good idea. And so, you know, sometimes we look for validation in the wrong, you know, in wrong places and the wrong things. But had I went to my father who has no experience with Forex whatsoever, you know, and he was sincere enough to say, you know what, son, you know, I don't think that's a good idea just because he doesn't have any experience with it, right? I would have missed out on the opportunity. Or anybody else who doesn't have, I've never heard Forex or trading or, you know, investing in any of my immediate personal circles. So it would behoove me to go to those individuals and ask them what they think about it, let alone do they think I should get involved in it. Does that make sense?
Definitely makes sense. And basically what I want to say, I want to ask is, like I said, your first 30 days, you make $250. Are you going to share this with more than 3 people possibly? Right? More than likely, right? Because at that point, guess what? My first 30 days, I made profit, right? And in the next 6 months, of course, we want to walk you through phases of what we do, right? It's a phase 1, phase 2, right? And y'all play 2K, right? You know what I'm saying? You create a player, right? He ain't always on 99, is he? You know what I'm saying? You got to go through phases. You got to go through practice. You got to go through exhibitions. So we're going to go through all that live, as we can see here, but also online. As you can see, Mr. Pinkston, he has his office. I have my own office at the house, and as well as Mr. Hanna, we do these live workshops. So what we say as well, if you want to help more people, right, you want to get it for free, we can even pay you more. We've already shown you 2 ways where you can make $600. You can learn a skill set, right? What you see is worth it, right? You can utilize the software and say, hey, you know, I don't have time right now. I have a lot going on. I prefer to just have something working for me. And the reason why I'm involved in some IT specialists from, you know, some top universities, because so many people love what they do, but still want an extra source of income, right? You know, so boom, we want to give you that option, right? People ask me all the time, Travis, I want to give you my money to trade. I don't really, that's a lot trying to manage multiple accounts. But now I can separate them and manage them easier. So we did that. But now we have 2 more ways where you can make $600, right? You know, so with the software and with the education, guess what? We have a way for you to build residual income, because we're going to invest all of our money that we could advertise, right? Instead of Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, or online anything, we're going to invest it in you by word of mouth, right? So as you guys can see, you guys just say, I'm probably going to share this with more than 3 people, right? Say you know 12 people, right, that you help. Hey, I want you to set up your Helmets and account. We're all going to make $250 a month together. Or, hey, we're all going to work together and learning this skill. And guess what? That's going to be $600 a month where we can pay you $150 per week. If you've seen my post that say, hey, I get paid every Friday, is because it's true, right? And, but the only way that we get paid, if this happens or you get paid, is you have to be sincere in helping people make money, right? We're not here to set anybody up to say, hey, sign up, and I'm going to leave you alone, right? I got to restrain myself. I like cussing a lot,
Sign
right?
up for the setup.
Right, sign up for the setup. How you doing, Rose? Sign up for the setup. No, we want to ensure you continue to make money, right? Because if you don't make money, we're not successful, right? Or, your 12 people may know 12 other people. Now you have 30 people that you're helping out. And guess what? We're going to pay you $1,000 a month, right? Simple as that. And as we said before, this thing, based on that, we're going to continue to grow as well. Guess what? We can actually help you with that 12, right? So say you only know 3. I know 12, right? I'm going to put 10 of them under your 3. And guess what? You're going to still be able to get that $600 a month, even though you've only helped 3 come in the game, right? And that's why we say everybody eats in this, right? So I go back to paid in full, right? Everybody eats. And again, it can get even further than that. If 75 people, that could be $2,000 a month, right? 500 people, $10,000 a month, right? And the gentleman that mentors us, right, as we said, we hang around people who are already doing it. Our mentor is already doing $10,000 a month, right? And we're actually, very close, to doing that. But that's because our consistency of helping other people make money.
I want to hit this at a different angle, guys.
Angle it, whatever.
Because let's say you found a job, all right? Go back to John. You found a job that will pay you $10,000 a month, right? And all you had to do is let people know about these services, right? And what happens is they will give you a bonus and an increase depending on how well you did. That's your job. You would do it whether you feel like it or not, in a sense. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. A lot of times in the entrepreneur space, if no one's going to make us do it, we get to fall back on whether I feel like doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that to say because even when traditional businesses, if you had your own business and you open up the door, you know what's going to help pay your bills with the clients, the customers. You know what I'm saying? You want to tell people about it. You might try to do radio, TV, flyer, billboards, whatever the case may be, to put your business out there so you can get people to, be a client. And so, when you have all that money up front investing in a personal business, you know that return on investment may take a couple years, but you got to put that work in up front before you get that. A lot of people put mortgages on their house, they get these business loans. And I'm just alluding to the mindset of how you could kind of attack that. He said, if you know 75 people who are new, man, almost everybody need to learn how to make money additional ways. Everybody. But again, mindset-wise, everybody not ready for that conversation. But at the same time, we got, 7 billion people in the world, give or take? I'm sure there's at least 1 billion out there who's just like looking on the internet, like, I need to find something.
And only 1% invest.
And not too many people are in that arena. So I just want to give you a different perspective on how you can actually attack that type of number, being that initially people's like, man, you know what I'm saying? I only talked to 3 people in my phone book and I got 200. You see what I'm saying? I don't mess with these, like, I got their number. I don't mess with them like that. But if it was your business, if a millionaire said, listen, I want you to start a business, I'm going to put the money up front. You just got to run the show. And this is what you got to do. How many people would sign up for that deal? And he said in about 5 years, you should be at about $1 million. But for the first year, I might not be able to pay that much because I got to get my money back. You know what I'm saying? Who would sign up for that deal? Right. But who would have the discipline to go forth the effort to get to the end result? So just wanted to, because, and just to touch on this slide too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, but hold on. Before you go into that, because it just brought something to me. I was listening to The Richest Man of Babylon. Anybody ever heard of that? Read that? Richest Man of Babylon? Yeah, so basically it just goes back into, oh man, now I got a brain fart. But basically it just goes into, like I said, mindset and also understanding, of course, the things that you are wanting to do and willing to do. Because our money is supposed to make babies and grandchildren, right? You know, I don't know anybody that's worked a 9 to 5 that became a millionaire just working a job, right? You know, like the owner of Facebook, right? You see all these pictures of people in their basements before Apple took off, and now Apple is worth more than what? I think Amazon is now worth more than Apple, Tesla, and all that, maybe combined.
Close to $1 trillion.
Right? Close to $1 trillion. But my whole goal, our whole goal with this workshop is to, again, expose people to something different, right? To expose you to literally four systems. We still got one left we didn't even talk about yet. 4 systems that can actually generate $600 a month, right? So if you think about that, if you plug into all 4, that's $2,400 a month with the investment of maybe what, $200 to $300. Now I would say $200 to $500 that can potentially make you $2,500 a month, if not more, based on, of course, your own efforts, right? And we do this, about 5 hours a week. 5 hours a week.
Do it more.
Right. Some of us do it more, right? Definitely. You know, so definitely, like I said, plug into the system real quick, duplication, and basically walk them through, you know, our welcome package, because your support doesn't stop. Hope you guys know that. Like I said, you get involved in this. I mean, you have our personal numbers. You have our mentors' personal numbers and things of that nature. And really what did it for me is a gentleman that makes $500,000 a month. Why would they want to call me? That was weird to me, right? Like I said, I'm from the hood. People don't lift each other up like that. You know what I'm saying? Let alone somebody that's doing it. I'm like, he called me, hey, how's the family? I'm good. I was scared to call him, you know, at one point, but I can call, talk, you know, it's because we bond with genuine quality people. Right? So OQP, only quality people, right? You know, and just discuss how can you help me, right? It's not about how I can help myself. It's about how I can help you, because everybody's heard this. It's better to give than to receive, right? Anybody really know why they say that?
Because you get back 10 times more than what you did.
Because you get back 10 times fold, right? That law of sowing and reaping, right? You know, if you've never heard of it, you know, because giving actually starts the receiving process, right? And the Richest Man in Babylon basically explains this process is that, you know, hey, I'm going to help 100 people. Now I'm going to get 1% of all their effort. And now he's the richest man in Babylon. Right. You know, and one thing I like to talk about it is the thing that people tell me is that this word, I love it. I love it when they say it's a scam. Oh man, I get excited. Right. And I say, where you work at? They say, oh, I said, you got a boss? I said, your boss got a boss? Right. I said, so what are you in? What pyramid? You in the pyramid, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I get my chuckle on. You know, I said the thing about and the pyramids, you know, are historical, right? Why? Because it's a strong foundation, right? Our ancestors, you know, broke down this strong foundation. We don't even know how they made them, right? But it's a strong foundation that's made because this is how it works. Our program works a little bit different than others, right? The person at the top doesn't always make all the money, right? You see what I'm saying? I may know 3 people, you may know 12. I get 150, you get 600, but I helped him sign up. You see what I'm saying? And as I said before, is I can actually add more people to you, right? You know, it's just not, it doesn't go to me. Hey, now you get residual and I get residual. So again, it goes back to everybody eats.
Hey,
right?
Mr. Jones.
Yeah, go ahead, man, because I know I got you started, man.
No, you're good. You're good. And I just want to allude to also, I mean, the industry that we're in, we're talking about the Forex industry, 5.2 trillion, 5.3 trillion. So even though we're talking about one system where we generate residual income, I mean, even the residual income aside, right, you still have the ability to benefit however you want from the Forex market. So again, likewise, I stated before, you know, when Travis showed the benefits. I mean, showed the daily profits that we make just from our phones. If you can generate, $1,000 a week from your phone, okay, aside from the compensation plan, okay, where's the cap? Where's the level, right? There's no cap on the income there, right? And these guys, this is daily profits, all right, that you're making from the Forex industry. Sometimes people want to know, well, Justin, where does this money come from, right? See, in a pyramid scheme, guys, pyramid schemes are paid out with other investors' money that come in that pyramid, right? We all heard of the Madoff, right? Bernie Madoff with everybody's money, right? Well, here's the thing. In the Forex industry, you have, traditional industries, or you have central banks, right? All of these governments, everybody, insurance companies investing in this Forex market, retail traders investing in the Forex market. So we can, our goal for you is to extract as much money out of that market as possible on a daily basis. Now, if you do, again, decide to activate your benefits and share it with other people, that's an additional stream of income, okay? And we all know that, leverage is better than just having a job. So that's all I add, man. I don't want to go too far into it, but just wanted to put that out there, that this is an addition to what you make out of the Forex market.
Gotcha. I appreciate it. That's basically, like I said, what we wanted to show, and the reason being is just simply because what we can do here is just, like I said, to me, phenomenal. When I first saw that I could take $100 account and the next day it'd be $102 and gain $2 a day, I was excited, right? Because I knew $100 in my bank for a year wouldn't even give me that much, right? So I'm like, okay, now I can probably manipulate it a little bit. I can do more, I can do less. So what I have here is basically how we strategize. You might need to clear that up a little bit. Oh, it's the internet.
Yeah, it's probably want speed kick up. You can enlarge it though, can't you?
That's at the max on my joint. It's clear right here.
I mess around, hit that button.
Let's see.
While he's zooming in, real quick, guys, one of the most exciting parts about that residual income, if you think about it, yeah, you put forth the effort, but it's technically other people's money. And I'm only bringing that up because that I usually encourage people to use to invest with. If you think about it, if somebody gave you $100 to invest with, if you lost that $100, it was technically their $100.
Right.
You never come out your pocket. So if you shared this, if you just put forth the effort and say, listen, I'm going to either help 3 people get 3, or I'm going to get 12 myself, $600 a month, you use that to invest with. Worst case scenario, you lose money, but guess what? It didn't come out your pocket. Think about that. If you can be at a risk-free position investment, you're at the best position to invest.
Yeah. And my whole thing is the reason why, like I said, that's optional. I said that because when I got started and Mr. Pinkston can contest, I was cussing. I said, bro, I ain't talk to nobody, man. I don't even like people like that, for real. But the crazy part was I started with a $300 account. After 2 months, that $300 account was at $720. I said, yo. I'm like, wow. I'm like, at this point, I got to a point where I felt like if I didn't tell somebody, I was selfish. It was selfish for me not to tell other people because I know I've seen people, go bankrupt or lose their house because of $500 to $600, that they couldn't pay this bill, or, their car get repossessed over a $250 payment, right? So I'm like, this can help people. So what I saw is what we have here is our compound growth calculator. It helps us game plan. And I definitely wish it was a little bit more clearer, unfortunately.
Justin, how it look on Zoom?
It looks good on Zoom. I mean, it's very clear.
I'm going to pull it over. Yeah.
Justin, how it look on the Zoom? It look clear?
No, it's still trying to clear up.
Oh, it's still trying to clear up. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, hey, he got it up. You know what I'm saying? So should I stop the share?
Yeah, but it's still going to be subject to the internet. You can just stop it. I'll bring it up.
Yeah, do it. But basically, as you can see here, we're talking about a $100 account, right? I like to tell people, when people tell me, I only got this, can you start with $100? Yes. Do we advise it? No. I always tell people $500 for a few reasons, right? One is because you want to fund your account. You want to have to make sure you have access to the education, which is going to be that $6 per day, right? Or let's say, what's that, $200, right, for the first 30 days, right? But with that, so basically that will really make your investment account only $300, right? Say, hey, I'm going to buy Hamilton, right? You know what I'm saying? For 30 days, I'm going to see what it's like. I say, tell everybody, give yourself 90 days. And I say that because nobody goes to college saying, I'm gonna see what it's like for 30 days, right? We commit, right? So commit to 90 days to say, hey, my $300 account, because now I have this software, I only want to make 2% per day. And this is us being modest. The software for us has been between, what, $20 and $30 per day, right? You know, so my $300 in 15 days is now $403 in 15 days, right? In 30 days, right, that account goes to 543.
Zoom in some more. Some people probably still look at that.
Oh, yeah, I zoomed in. After 30 days, right, that $300 account is down 543, right? So after 30 days, that's what I said, you know, starting off is a process, right? So now you've invested total 500. Guess what you've made? 543. So you're in profit for 30 days, technically $44, right? At this point, you've seen it make money every day. You've probably told 100 of people already. Mm-hmm. And at this point, you're probably going to be free anyway for the remainder, you know, of your months. So now guess what? 45 days, that $300 account is now $731. And this is just us being on a modest 2% a day. Just 2%, right? Some days, as you saw, we do 10% a day, right? But some days also, you may get only 1% a day. You may get 0% a day. You may take a loss. So, of course, things are subject to change, but this is a base, and why I like to be modest on 2%, because you're going to get a 10% day, 10%, 1%. Now, after 3 days, you did 7%.
One of the ways you want to treat this spreadsheet, these are trading days. They're not calendar days. But also, let's say you your first week, you did good, right? You made an average of a little per day. You increased your account from 300 to 37. Let's say you took an L on that 7th day, and it brought you back to about 325. So that just means you just go to this portion of your chart, you're back on day 4. So this chart would signify 60 days of profit. You see what I'm saying? So if you get your way up to 500 and you take a $100 L because you fell asleep at the wheel, whatever the case may have been, then, you know, you start back at 15. See what I'm saying? You start back at the $400. And this actually spreadsheet teaches you, this is our trading plan once you get part of our group. We share this with you. It actually tells you what lot size and how many pips you need to get to that number.
We're going to explain pips and lot sizes and leverage in a second.
Time for me.
So real quick, I just want to throw this in there real quick, guys. So here you have a situation where you can have passive investing, which is the software that Mr. Jones is referring to, and also active investing, which is you learning the skill set and trading on your own, right? So you have the best of both worlds, active investing and passive investing. So I just wanted to put that out there. Mr. Jones, you're on mute.
My bad. I got people live here. They hit me. But basically, like I said, with that $300 account, you guys can see after 60 days, that's $965. That's, again, after 60 days, a $600 profit in the first 60 days possible, right? You know, and what I told myself, like when I began, I didn't want to tell 2 people. I didn't want to tell 3 people to get it free. Crazy part is because
you want to tell anybody.
I did right. I didn't want to tell anybody. I almost cussed you out that you told me about that joint. For real. Because I was like, man, I want to learn this for me. But when I started doing it, that's kind of where I'm at now and why I created a brand. Because I do want to make a positive impact, you know, with people. But even going beyond 60 days, as Jason can show here, we're going to show live is that, hey, that 965 becomes 1,200. That 1,200 becomes 1,500 because we simply compound that 2% per day, right? We only started off doing what? $6 a day. We only started with $6 a day. Then after a few weeks, $7 to $8 a day, right? Because our account is growing we can now leverage a little bit more. Instead of now trading 10 cents, now my account grew, I can trade 50 cents, right?
So I was going to say, let's say for an example, you started with the 3, right? Now let's say 200, right? And you grow your account, right? Eventually, even with the Hamilton software right here, when you pull off the top to pay your subscription fee, you pull them from the profits, if that makes sense. That's business 101. You take your profits and reinvest back into your business to grow it. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to bring that to a point too, that, you know, you could, what you want ideally do is allow this to pay for itself, but we're going to help you obtain your 3 and free as much as you want to attain it.
Mm-hmm. And again, like I said before, my whole goal wasn't to share it, right? I was committed to learning just because of my job. And this story is funny because I work for, a Fortune 500 company, a cell phone company, right? One of the top 3 in the industry. I clear 6 figures a year easily, right? But I went to my boss one day that said, hey, yeah, I want to take time off. I got this timeshare. I just got promoted, so I kept postponing it. And she asked me questions, did you already pay for it? Where you going? What you going to do there? I'm like, why are you asking me so many questions? Like, and what hit me at that point was, why am I asking another person what I can do with my time? And it had really disgusted me. That was the mind shift for me, right? And I was looking for things online. I'm looking at wave videos, trying to get my waves right. And I'm like, bro, what these cats do? All they do is videos. All they do is wave videos, man. What else you doing? I'm inboxing them. He like, man, I trade for it. I'm like, what was Forex, man? Is that a PlayStation game or something? So he explained it to me, but he was going to offer me, hey, I'll send you you pay me, I'll send you the trades, you put them in. I'm like, but do you teach? He like, no. I said, so without you, I'm nothing. You see what I'm saying? Kept looking, saw Mr. Pinkston, which he was one of my experts at the time. I was his boss at one point, and he left the company because he's a full-time entrepreneur. And I said, bro, why you ain't tell me? I've been looking for something like this. I met him and Mr. Hanna. That first day, I said, I saw IML Academy, right? I saw the IML TV, which we ain't go over, is the live trainings. Like how we doing the live workshop streaming. You got people that do this teaching you 24/7, right? If you get off work at 2 a.m., we got a 3 a.m. session for an hour with one of our professionals, 8 a.m., 2 p.m., any times of the day. And I'm going to break it down, for y'all live. But I really was okay with paying $2,000 for a year to learn a skill that could possibly pay me $100 to $200 a day. And I've gotten there. I'm almost there, right? Like I said, my biggest day was like 163 in like October, and things like that. But I continue to compound it, right? Reinvest it and things of that nature. So it was worth it.
Can I add something?
Oh, absolutely.
When you're talking about that, if you look at a college education, how much does a college education cost?
Yeah,
Right.
let's cover that.
Right.
It's not $200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
$100 a day on 20K.
I mean,
I didn't
it's
math.
what, 80,000 for about $200 for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And to try it for you're saying 90 days.
Right. 90
I
days.
mean, I just took, I'd say the last 60 days, I took $1,000, made $6,000 with it,
Mm-hmm.
took my profits off of that, put some of it back in, put a couple thousand back in.
Come on, Rose.
Hey, within 2 weeks, I've made another 5,000. We'll take some
Woo!
But what I'm saying is that's something that doesn't even have to do with Forex, because once you get into something, these are business-minded people. You're going to be introduced to other things. Many of them. This is something that's way out here that I would have never even considered that I would have had that opportunity.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I talk about traveling.
Right.
Travel.
This past year, I traveled 26 weeks.
She timeshare hops.
And what did I have? I had my phone on me the whole time. I could trade anywhere at any point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere I had the internet, I could trade at any point in time.
Yep.
And I don't like trading on the phone. So I've switched it around. I like trading on my computer. Okay, that's just personally what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things I like to trade, like with all the Forex stuff. I'm heavy into Forex, but I like to trade Bitcoin. I'm big into gold. It's like you find your niche, and people will come to you. They're like, "What are you doing on your computer?" And how can you be traveling to all these places? What are you doing to be able to do that?
Mm-hmm.
There's some things that I'm going to introduce them to that they don't even know about yet. That
We got something for you too.
Yeah, it's going. Yeah, this whole Hamilton thing. I was like, I've been going for like last year. I haven't had time to get.
We got you covered. We got you
But,
covered.
but yeah, when you compare it to a college education, you can't compare, because back in the day, I mean, I paid for classes to get education. It was $5,000 for 1 weekend. $5,000, 3-day class.
That don't include transportation.
Oh no, you got your transportation, all that stuff. But so I mean, this is a no-brainer just to get into it, because even if you're not thinking about bringing other people into it, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't take long to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the basics pretty easy to catch hold of. They're giving you the information. They're helping him. These guys are like right here. They're physically helping him right here. It's really an incredible opportunity.
Absolutely, and she said 5,000 for a 3-day weekend. We say you don't share with anybody. It's $2,000 for a year, right? You know, if that, you know, and it's
you can't keep it secret.
You can't.
People will be like, wait a minute, how'd you just buy that new house? And how'd you just buy that new car?
I did all that this year too.
Yeah.
Like when you coming back to town. I don't know when I feel like that.
Yeah, we did. I definitely.
Honestly did.
Like I said, I've been able to do that this year, you know, and me, see, I'm not the person to brag or say anything, but, you know, being able to put $2,500 down on my Jeep, on my truck, to buy a 2017 motorcycle cash, right? You know what I'm saying? And also put $13,000 down on a house. You know what I'm saying? Like that, where does that money come from? Well, I mean, you know that, I ain't tell you that. Yeah. So basically, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, where did that come from? At one point, when I started working at my company, and Justin knows, is that I was broke, man. Y'all ever heard of CashNet USA? That payday loan joint? Every check, I'm revolving door. I'm paying it back in interest, but I'm taking more out. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't know it. But I changed my mindset, got around the right people. Because if you hang around 9 broke people, you're going to be the 10th, right? I said, I want to hang around people that's doing this maneuvering, right? And we just gonna make these moves, right? So based on time constraint, we're gonna really shut it down on the live, because there's some things I want to show the people that we have, you know, up close and personal real quick. But what we are gonna do for everyone on live that's registered and put in an email, you are gonna get a recording of this so you can go back and test it out. You also get first dibs on our next workshop that we're going to have during the week, more than likely Monday evening or Tuesday. And again, if you have work or anything, as you know, we guys are going to record it for you. And if you have questions, make sure you ask them, right? The only dumb questions are one you don't ask, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's key. That's important. But Mr. Pinkston, I know you online. You probably going to stay, you know, with us. And you're going to bring up the monitor here as well.
You ready to shut down the rest of them?
Yeah, we're going to shut it down, you know. So basically, you know, what we're going to do, guys, see you guys recording. We're going to show you some things. Go ahead, boss.
I'm sorry. I just want to real quick, because I know we got some folks on the line. For those of you who are excited or just want to go ahead and get started, definitely reach back out to whoever invited you. Let them know that you want to take a position wherever that may be. We also do have a program for those of you who want to get started but may not be in a position to get started, okay? We do have something for you as well. So one of the things that I was always told, you know, don't let money stop you from making more money, okay? So that if that is the situation, guys, you know, we were in that situation, just being completely frank. At one time, we found ourselves in that situation. So, you know, we do have a program that is available for you if that is the situation. So don't let money stop you from making more money. But obviously, if you do see something that is of value for you, okay, take action, okay? Napoleon Hill says it in Think and Grow Rich. You know, one of the most important skill sets is the ability to make a decision, okay? More than half of the economy right now, guys, are in a bad place because of their inability to make a decision. So you want to make sure you make a decision today, and that's all I got. Boss, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back over to you.
Got you. We're gonna so basically what we want to do, I want to get Mr. Hannah bringing up some information, because simple as put, we actually want to give you some information where if you've already downloaded MetaTrader 4, I know that some of the guys here already got it downloaded. We can, and probably already messed around with some trades. You probably won some money, probably lost some money, ain't know what you was doing, right? But basically, I want to give down some vocabulary on, you know, like I said, what is a pip, right? A pip is a point in price, right? Or I like to call it, I like to use my science term, which is a unit of measure, right? So basically, in Forex, it's a little different than where stock is, right? Because if Nike stock is at 102, it goes up to 103. That point is considered in stock $1. And here it's pips, right? In different pairs, it's different, right? So in certain pairs, it's the 4th decimal. If it's a USD pair, if it's a JPY pair, Japanese yen pair, it's 2nd decimal. But that's just kind of intro vocabulary, of course.
I'm setting up the mute.
Okay. All right. So basically, a pair. Go to the base pair.
I got it. Let me use your clicker too, because you gotta keep going back.
Oh. So while he's bringing that up, because I know some people online. So basically, a pair, you're going to see 2 units, right? You're going to see, for example, GBP USD, right? You're going to have the base currency and the poke currency. Go back to it. Killing the smalls. You got your base currency, your poke currency, right? So there they use Euro USD, right? So I'm going to use the same number 13510, right? Like I said, the 4th decimal. So this is going to be the unit of measure, right? So basically, I'm saying the Great Britain pound in dollars value is going to go down, right? No, let's say it's going to go up, right? So I want to put a buy in. So basically, at this point now, it goes from 1.3517. How many pips did it move? Many, right? So 7 pips, right?